Hey guys, I want to make another really quick video. Um, you know, manipulation in church for money isn't always going to be obvious. I just watched a video where, and I've seen this dozens and dozens of times, okay, in my life. Somebody will be up at the front playing music, and there'll be somebody talking about talking about this great need for money, and then all of a sudden this music will start playing, this soft, emotional music. And it's all designed to get your emotions stirred up, okay? It's all designed to make you start, to make everything just seem more spiritual. So they're playing all this music. And, I watched a video where this lady was saying, she didn't even call it tithe, she called it a love offering, okay? And here she was, like, just telling people that, they were going to be a special few if they gave to her. She's basically appealing to people's need to be accepted by God, okay? So she's basically implying that people will be accepted by God by calling them a special few if they give to her. She's appealing to that need for them to be accepted by the Lord. So whenever they give to her, they think, oh, well, God finally accepts me, and then all of a sudden everybody's clapping and praising the Lord because all of a sudden they feel like they're accepted because they gave this pastor money. So manipulation is not always going to look obvious. It's not always about taking Bible verses out of context. Sometimes it's appeal to emotionalism and having people tell you that, oh, you have pleased the Lord with your sacrifice, with your offering. And basically what you're doing is you're paying this pastor money, and they're using your appeal. They're appealing to your sense of emotion to get money from you. Anyway, I had to pause it for a second. Guys, being accepted by God has nothing to do with giving money, okay? God is no respecter of persons, okay? So people who give money aren't more special than people who don't, especially when it comes to emotional manipulation, all right? The Bible tells us that we are to give as we are able, okay? We are to give as the Spirit leads us, not as the pastor tries to emotionally manipulate us, okay? But the Bible says that we are to give as the Spirit leads, not as the pastor leads. I'm not saying that, if you don't belong to a healthy church, you should never give to your pastor. I'm not saying that at all. If the Spirit leads you to give to your pastor, then give to your pastor. But don't be emotionally manipulated into giving by someone calling you a special few for giving, okay? Also keep in mind that a lot of times the poor go completely unnoticed because so many people are paying their pastors to get rich. A lot of these pastors are abusing the money. A lot of the money's going to a building fund, even though the Lord tells us that He doesn't live in temples made with human hands. And as a result, the poor are suffering. And not just the poor, people who need help. Okay, there's so many people in your community right now that need help. All right? There's people that are struggling with cancer that can't pay their medical bills. There's people who are having their electricity cut off because they're barely making ends meet, working 2 jobs. There is need everywhere. You just have to look and see. There is need everywhere, and yet a lot of these pastors are using emotional manipulation with their organ or with their piano, trying to make you think that, oh, you're so special, you just gave to me, la la la, la la la. Just really play into your emotions, okay? But guys, the Word tells us that we fulfill the law of Christ when we bear one another's burdens. That means whenever you see a need and you meet it, whether it be with your time, with your money, with your effort, with your love, it doesn't just have to be money, okay? Every time you see a need and you meet it, you are fulfilling the law of Christ. If you see a door that needs to be open for an elderly man who can't push his buggy, you're fulfilling the law of Christ because you just you bore that burden, okay? So just don't be manipulated. The Bible tells us that we store up treasure in heaven when we give, but when we give to the least of these, okay? It's not just about giving to the pastor whenever he tries to emotionally manipulate. You know, guys, I hate to say it, but there is a lot of greed out there, okay? There really is. You know, in the Bible, in the book of Acts, the early believers, whenever you look at the early church, there was no hierarchy, okay? There was no one man who was demanding money from everybody. Instead, what you see is a community of people that shared with one another. They shared what they had, okay? And there was no manipulation. There was no one-man leadership hierarchy. It was a community that loved each other and that shared with one another. A true leader, guys, isn't going to be one standing over you demanding your money. A true leader is one who serves you. Okay? Jesus showed us the example of leadership whenever he took out the towel of a servant and washed the feet of his disciples. Okay? True leadership means giving everything you can of yourself. That is true leadership. It's not emotional pleas for money and then calling people special because they gave to you. Okay? That's not what true leadership is. True leadership is service and love. And love gives of itself, okay? Love isn't always manipulating and taking. Love doesn't manipulate. Love is not self-seeking, okay? There's a verse that says love is not self-seeking, and a lot of these pastors are self-seeking. They just want money for themselves or whatever project they think is important, whether it be the building or, whatever. Anyway, I could probably talk on this all day. I have many videos that talk about this, but this was my first one that really talked about the emotional manipulation of it. Anyway, I guess that's all I got for you guys for now. There is a verse that says that people will try to make merchandise of you. In their greed, they will try to take advantage of you. So just be aware. All right, bye.